Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing on this January 21st, 2026? Shout out to the folks in the chat. How are you all doing today? What is going on? Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. If you're new, share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. The wait is finally over. We could stop worrying about what Cody Bellinger is going to do. We could stop worrying about if he's going to come back to the Yankees. He is back with the New York Yankees, folks. So the wait is over. The wait is over. Now the Yankees need to focus on other areas to kind of let everyone know about Bellinger's contract. So it was a 5-year, $162.5 million contract. There is a full no trade clause, $20 million signing bonus, and he'll get an opt-out after years 2 and 3. And if there's a lockout in 2027, the opt-outs move back a year. So if there is a lockout in 2027, which inevitably I think there probably is going to be one, I think it's safe to say, but we'll talk about that at a different time. That is, the opt-outs do move back a year if there is a lockout in 2027. So in 2026 and 2027, he'll get paid $32.5 million. So that's his AAV. Yes, you can argue that it was a bit of an overpay. Yes, the Yankees had to go a little bit above, but you look at the rest of the market, right? You look at the rest of the market. I mean, it was almost inevitable that Bellinger was going to get a little bit of an overpay. You saw what Kyle Tucker signed for. You saw what Bo Bichette signed for. You saw what Dylan Cease signed for, right? And, I'm not saying these guys are bad players by any means, right? I talked about this a couple of days ago. I'm not saying these guys are bad players, but there was a bit of an overpay for them, right? There was. And but that's just the market, there's you could argue that a lot of players don't deserve the money that they're getting, but it's a supply and demand thing. And when there's a need, right? When there's a need, especially, for certain players, certain positions, you're going to have to overpay a little bit. And you could argue again that Cody Bellinger might have been a little bit of an overpay, but, he's not making anywhere near Aaron Judge, right? He's not getting paid, close to $40 million. It's not like he's getting paid, $50 or $60 million. So, it's compared to some of the other contracts that were given out. I mean, Bellinger's contract, really, it looks better, from a financial standpoint. There was no way that I was going to think that I thought that the Yankees were going to, spend, $60 million a season for a guy like Kyle Tucker. I mean, I didn't think Kyle Tucker was going to get that kind of contract, right? But he did. Bo Bichette got, $42 million a season. It's a lot of money for those guys. I mean, to me, when you look at those contracts, when you look at the numbers, it's like it doesn't match up. But again, those guys got what they wanted. They got the pay that they wanted. Good for them. I mean, you can't really hate on them getting paid. They're getting paid. It's as simple as that, man. I think any of us, if any of us were in that position, we probably would be celebrating too, But anyway, folks. But like I was saying, Cody Bellinger, he's back. Finally, the wait is over. We can stop, wondering. We could stop thinking. We could stop coming to conclusions whether Bellinger's coming back. The Yankees, they stayed put. They didn't give 6 or 7 years to Cody Bellinger. Boras was looking for 7 years. The Yankees were not budging, and of course, I'm sure Boras was talking to a few other teams that were interested, and it's not like they wanted to give Cody Bellinger 7 years either. They wanted to give him a shorter term deal with a higher AAV, just like some of the other players that signed for those types of contracts. So certainly not the case for Bellinger. He was definitely looking for something long term. So he wasn't going to get a better deal than what the Yankees gave him, and I think the Yankees gave him a more than a reasonable contract. You know, again, it is a bit of an overpay. To me, Bellinger was worth 27 to $28 million, 29. Really, I don't think he should have hit that 30 mark. But again, it's just, what other players were getting paid, and especially what Scott Boras clients got. I mean, there was no chance that Bellinger was going to sign for 30 or less than 30. All right, let's say it like that, right? So let me know what you think. Load up the comments, right? Let me say what's up to the chat. I know there's a few of you in here, and I appreciate you all being here. Let's say what's up to the chat. We got John the Beagle, that first person in the building. What is up? Jonathan, what is going on? Keith is in the building. CWE is in the building. My man Mazza from Ford Train Express is in the building. What's up, man? Joseph is in the building. Nez is in the building. Good to see you, man. Long time no see. Sean Browning, what's up, man? What's going on? And Anthony, what's up, Anthony? He says, he's asking, do I think they'll get Peraza, Gore, another starting pitcher? The need for a starting pitcher is a must. They need to go after a starting pitcher. Do I think they can get Peraza, Gore, or another starting pitcher? I mean, do I think they will get Peraza? Hard to say. It depends on what the Brewers are asking for. We don't know what they're asking for, right? They are asking for a starting pitcher that's major league ready. I mean, Yankees got a couple of them, right? Luis Hill, Will Warren, those two guys come to mind. Have those names been negotiated? I don't know. Mackenzie Gore, sure. That's another name that they could get, but will they get him? I don't know. But if they want to go get another starting pitcher, I mean, you got guys like Nick Martinez who's out there. You got, you got Chris Bassett. They could just sign on a 1-year deal. If the Yankees want to go that route, Framber Valdez, it's probably not going to happen, right? I can't see Valdez, but they do need a starting pitcher. Bottom line, they need to get a starting pitcher. Who else we got in the building? We got Space Magic Storm. What's up? Belly finally done. Let's see what happens next. Daniel Berry's in the building. What's up, dude? How's it going? What is going on? Who else we got in the building? I think I said what's up to everybody. But once again, make sure you all hit the like, hit that subscribe, share this channel out with everybody you know. Listen, bringing Bellinger back is a help. I wanted to answer this question from you guys. Bringing Bellinger back, it's a good thing. But there's still a lot of work to do with this team. I mean, the Yankees still have some work to do, right? I was happy to have Bellinger back, of course, right? I wanted Cody Bellinger back. Yes, it was a little bit of an overpay, but when you compare it to some of the other guys, like I said, it doesn't look that bad. However, do the Yankees have more work to do? Absolutely, they have more work to do. 100% they have more work to do. They shouldn't be done yet. The Yankees still have they still have some work to do. All right, it's as simple as that, man. They got a lot of work to do, and yeah, they need to get a starting pitcher. They need to I'd say they need to get another arm for the bullpen. But I don't know which direction that they're going to go in. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. And I see a few other folks in the building. We got our friend Joel in the building. What's up there, Joel? Good to see you. It's been a long time. Therese is in the building. My man Ace is in the building. Make sure you guys go check out the Ace Avenue. What up, Ace? How you feeling about the deal, man? Let me know. Let me know how you feeling about Bellinger being back. Norman is in the building. Jake is in the building. Jake is saying to me, this isn't a better team. Running back the same team isn't going to cut it, and I hope fans can see that. Once again, it's going to take more. It's going to take more than it's going to take more for this team, to be better, for this team to be competitive, right? Again, I'm glad they brought Bellinger back, but there is still a lot of work to do, man. Still a lot of work to do. Yeah, McMahon hitting better, hopefully. Pixelmon, what's up? He says the Yankees aren't doing anything else. If they had intentions of trading or signing anyone, they would have done it already. I beg to differ, man. There's still some time in the offseason, right? There's still a few weeks left. So, I mean, anything is possible. Am I saying that the Yankees are absolutely going to make a move? No, I'm not saying that, but I mean, they could still make moves. I mean, there's questions now, right? Coach Carl's in the building, Petruzzi's in the building. What's up? What's going on? So, when it comes to Cody Bellinger now being back, so now the question is, right, and it's been talked about a lot this offseason. It was even talked about during 2025 season. What does this mean for guys like Jason Dominguez? What does this mean for Spencer Jones? What happens with these guys? Are the Yankees planning on keeping both? Are the Yankees planning on keeping a 25-year-old Spencer Jones at AAA, and Dominguez becomes the fourth outfielder? What happens, right? There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of talk about potentially Dominguez could get traded, or Spencer Jones could possibly get traded. Those are possibilities. And we talk about guys like Freddie Peralta, right? Who I have been saying that I would love for him to be traded to the Yankees. I know the asking price is going to be really high, but I think it would totally be worth it. I think it would be worth it. But I'm not saying the Yankees should give up a lot. I'm not saying they should give up big time, all their top guys to for Freddie Peralta, because after all, Freddie Peralta is a 1-year rental. But if they're still negotiating with the Milwaukee Brewers, does it, do they dangle, Jones or Dominguez in that trade, right? Do they, are they dangling, Luis Hill or Will Warren, right, in a trade? Now that they signed Bellinger, they could put a little bit more focus on the trade market now, right? They made their big signing, so now what, right? Ultimately, I personally see either Dominguez or Jones getting traded, right? I feel like one of those guys are going to get traded, because I think Jones deserves a shot at the major league level. He does. But I think Dominguez also deserves to get more playing time, but it's going to be difficult for either one of those guys to get more playing time, especially, when the outfield is going to be Aaron Judge, Trent Grisham, Cody Bellinger, right? So, we're kind of back to kind of that square one where, Dominguez, he'll get playing time, but how much playing time is he going to get? Is he going to get more playing time, or is he going to get the same amount of playing time like in 2026, like same amount of playing time as he did in 2025? Is that going to go down, right? So I don't know. There's a lot of different directions that the Yankees could go in. Personally, again, I see either Dominguez or Jones getting traded. I really think the Yankees are going to want to keep Spencer Jones. I think the Yankees really want to keep Spencer Jones. I don't think they want to trade Spencer Jones, right? If they really wanted to trade Spencer Jones, they would have done so by now, because his name has been mentioned in the past as part of like a possible trade piece with other teams, but the Yankees were just not willing to move on from Spencer Jones, which it makes sense, right? Because Spencer Jones is really, really good defensively, mainly plays center field, but you could put him anywhere in the outfield. He's really good with the bat. Yes, he has that high strike percentage and whatnot, but he could still give you that power with the bat, and he's got the speed too. The guy can run. So there is a lot of upside with Spencer Jones, with his versatility. So, again, but would the would the Yankees trade Spencer Jones in a package that's totally worth it? Sure, but it's gotta make sense though, right? It's gotta make sense for why the Yankees would trade Spencer Jones. The return has to be great, right? The return has to be great. You're not going to just trade these guys just to trade these guys, right? I mean, you want to get something that's going to be worthwhile and it's going to help the Yankees, compete, help the Yankees, win a world, hopefully win a World Series, right? I know we've been waiting a long time, and I know it's been painful over these last 16, 17 years. So we've been ready to see the Yankees win a World Series. So I know it's frustrating, but let me get to some of the comments here. Space Magic Storm says, I don't see Yanks going for a big free agent starter. They can trade, but there's still plenty of decent free agent starters still on the market. Pitchers and catchers reporting isn't too far. Yeah, it's only, just a few weeks away. So not far at all. Yankees need a right-handed catcher, like a right-handed bat. They need a catcher that hits from the right side of the plate, right? Because right now they have J.C. Escara, they have Austin Wells, both bat lefty, but they need a bat that hits from the right side. So, so let's see what the Yankees do there. I mean, and the Yankees need, I'd still say they need another right-handed bat. You know what I mean? I mean, I got to look at looking at the lineup again, man. It's just the lineup is still a little heavy with the lefties. I feel like another righty bat is a need, but I don't know if they'll get another righty bat. But pitching, absolutely, they need to put a focus on. John says just because a prospect does not get traded does not mean we will not get him back in the future. They will, but there's no guarantee that they'll be back either. Space Magic says if they platoon Rice and Belly for first base, Dominguez can get a decent chunk of playing time, and there's probably a thought process to that for sure. And you could also move Bellinger to right field, right? If you wanted to give Judge a day off, and then you could put or Judge in a DH spot. Because ultimately, let's be honest, right? I mean, as much as I like Giancarlo Stanton, he is gonna get hurt, right? I mean, it's just inevitable. I mean, it's gonna happen. So Dominguez can easily go into the outfield that way as well. Steezy Bra says the overpaid free agency class of 2025, 2026, that Trent Grisham contract on paper doesn't look terrible. Still don't like it though. 100%. And Grisham's contract all of a sudden doesn't look that bad for 1 year, right? Compared to what these other guys got and what these guys are going to get paid. Grisham's contract is not that bad. And ultimately, Grisham, he'll play out his 1 year. I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him back. What kind of year he's going to have. I mean, can he repeat what he did in 2025? It's hard to say. Grisham had a fantastic 2025. I think that was his best season in his career so far, right? But can he repeat that same performance? It's going to be hard. You think Jones will be up with the Yankees this year? Well, he's assuming he doesn't get traded, he's going to get an invite for spring training. And he's probably going to try and play for a spot. So we'll see what happens. What's up, Celia? How's it going? Brooklyn is in the house. What is going on? What's up there, Susan? Celia says, "Hey, and if I agree, they have nowhere to play Jones or Dominguez. My gut is telling me that they were waiting on Bellinger's sign so they could potentially trade one of them." That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Aiden, what's up, man? What's going on? Long time no see. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, CWE. I mean, they got pieces to trade. And you're saying you think Dominguez gets traded. Look, I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for this, and I'm probably gonna, people might come after me or attack me for it, and that's fine, right? I mean, I'm allowed to have my opinion. I can have my takes on this. And so can everybody else. Everybody can have their own takes. Of course, we're not going to always agree on everything. and that's just part of being a fan. But I do think, for me personally, I would much rather, I would trade Dominguez if it was up to me, right? I would trade Dominguez. I have no problems with Dominguez. I like Dominguez, but I think there's a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more upside with Spencer Jones. And yes, I know we haven't seen him at the major league level, but I think his performance in the minor leagues has been really, he played really well last season in the minors. So, I don't see why he shouldn't get his shot. And he's 20 again. He's 25, right? So I think the time is now for Jones to get his shot, and he just might. But it'll be interesting to see, though, what the Yankees do moving forward. They can put their focus in other areas. Now, for me, again, I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind them trading for Freddie Peralta, right? I would love for them to get Freddie Peralta. He would solidify that starting rotation. And by trading for him, you can move on from some of the guys that they have right now. You could potentially trade Luis Hill, or you could trade a Will Warren. If it was up to me, I probably would trade Luis Hill before I would Will Warren. But would I trade Will Warren? I would trade Will Warren, but in the right deal, though, right? But I'd rather keep Will Warren personally. I'd rather keep Will Warren, and I wouldn't mind the Yankees, trading away Luis Hill in the right package. So there's really no telling, what the Yankees are going to do, man. It's just like, now what? They're probably not going to sign anybody else. I highly doubt it. If they do, it's just going to be it might be just another minor league signing to add more depth to the to the team, right? So I mean, I could just like what they've been doing this offseason. So probably signings like that. But I think right now, I think the Yankees are going to focus more on the trade market. So the dude gaming 5151 joining us from Twitch. What's up, man? He's asking, what are my thoughts on for Volpe? I mean, listen, I said last year in Volpe's third year, which was last year, that if he doesn't perform up to par, I think the Yankees should move on from him, really, and look elsewhere. And I think his days might be numbered, right? I've said it several times, and I think a lot of people will agree. His days might be numbered. I mean, you saw in this last year's draft, the Yankees drafted a bunch of infielders, and Volpe's days might be numbered. And you got George Lombard Jr. knocking on the door. So my thing with Volpe, I'm not there with him. I never was really sold on Anthony Volpe. I mean, I'm glad he got his chance, and maybe when he comes back from his injury, maybe he'll be better, right? I know his shoulder was an issue last year, his right shoulder. Obviously, he's going to recover from that. Can he? Hopefully, he can prove me wrong. But I'm not on the Volpe train. I never really was. He's got a lot of potential, but I just don't think I think he's not the player that he needs to be, right? He hits too much for power. He's always trying to, swing for the fences. It's not the player he should be. So that's my take on it. All right. Miguel Jimenez, what's up, man? He says I would trade none of who, like none of the pitchers I just talked about, or or Dominguez, or not Dominguez or Jones, none of the pitchers. Wells or Ascara. I mean, at this point, I would say Wells. What's up, Ronald? How's it going? Jake Boss, what's up, my man? What's going on? Oh, I would never forget you. What's up, Jimmy Matthew? What's going on? And if the Yankees never prioritize offense, Nico Hoerner should be the move. I'd give up ERC, Warren, and another player for him. That's fair, and it might have to take guys like ERC and Warren to trade for, and another player, three for one. I mean, Warren. I just have a hard time trading Warren. I like Nico Hoerner. Would I be upset if the Yankees trade for Nico Hoerner? Absolutely not. Actually, I was one of the. I don't want to say I was the only one, but I was definitely one of the few people that wanted Nico Hoerner last year when he was a free agent, when he was available. I wanted the Yankees to sign him. He had a good 2025. Had a really solid season. But I don't know if I would give up ERC and Will Warren. I think that's a little much. But again, sometimes you gotta, sometimes these trades hurt. And it's gonna hurt, right? Jake Boss says I'd trade any player if the return was right. Well, it's got to, and that's the thing. It has to be right. That's key. What's up, Dave? How's it going? I go get Peralta. I think you meant to say Hoerner there. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm saying the same thing. You're preaching over here. Yankees do need a leadoff hitter. I don't think Grisham. Something against Trent Grisham. I think Grisham is he's a good hitter, but I don't think he's a leadoff guy. To me, he's not a leadoff guy. My thoughts on the Dodgers? They're building a dynasty over there. That's for sure. They're playing by the rules and getting the guys that they want, even if it means overspending. I mean, they're able to do it. It's the Dodgers, man. They're doing what they got to do. I would love Nico Hoerner. I would love Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner would help balance the lineup. He's a right-handed bat. He's not a big home run guy, but he doesn't have to be. The Yankees already have plenty of that. They got plenty of home run guys. They need a guy that can, hit for contact, get on base, steal. And he does really good at all of those. Not to mention he can play second base. He can play shortstop. And really, he's a really good defender too. Nico would change the lineup. I just feel like you have to overpay to win. Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes, again, the price is going to hurt. But, I just don't – I wouldn't – again, for Nico Hoerner, I wouldn't give up Will Warren and ERC. Or actually, it's not even ERC anymore. It's just Elmer Rodriguez. He took the Cruz out. But, I wouldn't give up both of those guys, right? Keep in mind, he is a rental. Now, I know folks are saying, but they did it for Juan Soto, but it was Juan Soto. And when you think about it, really, who did the Yankees give up for Juan Soto? I mean, the only one that kind of hurt was Michael King. But other than that, look who they traded away. The Yankees won in that one. But for this one, it's a little bit of a different story, in my opinion, right? Cruise control. What's up, man? Next moves need right-handed bats, need a leadoff hitter, right-handed catcher. Dominguez, Escara, Hill, Warren, and any top prospect will be on the Yankees block. Yankees need insurance if someone gets hurt. Yeah, I mean, right-handed catcher, 100%. Dominguez, Escara, Hill, Warren, and any top prospect will be on the block. I mean, I don't know which top prospect will be on the block. Hard to say, right? But Escara being on the block, I could see it. Hill and Warren for sure. They might get one of those guys might get traded. So, shout out to Dev. What up, man? Yeah, but you also got to build, Jimmy. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, the window is short. When you got to win it with Aaron Judge while he's still active while he's still playing really good, no doubt. But the Yankees right now, I mean, with the farm that they have, and yes, I understand that the farm is not like, the best, right? I get that, but they haven't had this good of a farm in a long time. It's been a while since they actually had a farm, but now with the guys that they have that are coming up that got a lot of potential, man. These guys deserve, hopefully these guys get a shot. You know, um, and I know a lot of folks are saying the Yankees like to prospect hug, although they've traded away a bunch since the All-Star break. So just to throw that out there. Grisham should be 5 to 8 in our lineup, depending on injuries. Yeah, that's where I'm at with Trent Grisham. What's up, Cecilia? Big Dodgers fan in the building. What's up? If and when the Dodgers get Peraza, which pitcher do you want the Yankees to get? I mean, if they trade for Mackenzie Gore, you're not going to hear me complain. And I would get one. For just 1 year, I wouldn't mind them getting a guy like Chris Bassett or Nick Martinez. If it was me, I'd rather them go after Nick Martinez. So that's where I'm at. When do you think the Dodgers will run out of money and fall? Well, my question to you is this: do you know who the Dodgers are owned by? The Dodgers are owned by Guggenheim. I don't think Guggenheim is running out of money. Hope we keep Jones and put Dominguez in a trade package. Yeah, I'm right there with you. For insurance, yeah. Like I said, man, I don't think at this point, I don't think they're going to get Hayes. I think Hayes is out of the question now. If Bellinger had signed with another team, then sure, you could sign me up for that. For Hayes, I wouldn't have minded him. But Peralta, I think, is a must. He's a big time playoff bat, Miguel. Brian Looper, what's up? He says, what sucks is Yankees really have done anything to really make us better than we were last year. Weathers and Paul Blackburn and no Cole Rodon to start off the season. Well, there's a reason why they got, they were loading up on a bunch of the pitchers. And Blackburn, listen, I'm not saying he's going to be, he's going to save us or anything like that, but Yankees were able to unlock something with Blackburn. I know it was a very small sample size, but Matt Blake was able to unlock something with him. And let's see what Matt Blake can do with him. And Ryan Weathers has a lot of potential. Weathers is not really he's not a bad pitcher. The problem with Weathers is that his injuries have hindered him. And injuries, again, this isn't just a Yankees thing. It's just a all baseball thing. Every pitcher, it just seems like every pitcher's bound to get hurt. They're bound to get injured. It just seems to be the norm anymore. So driving, but send a chat. Yeah, appreciate you. Drive safe. Yeah, if you're driving and listening, please focus on the road. I don't need anybody getting hurt. Focus on the road. Safety first. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he can be a starter. He could be a reliever. He's got the stuff. It's just he's just got to stay healthy. Schlittler is great. I like Cam Schlittler. Let's see. I hope we see a great year from Cam Schlittler. I like what I saw from him in 2025. He, definitely looked confident out there. Definitely was not afraid to be challenged. And I hope we see more of that. Jones and a pitcher for Nico. Cubs want a center fielder. Maybe, depending on the pitcher. I'd rather give him Dominguez. Paul DeJong, right-handed. Rosario Caballero, full year Mexican League guy. Oh yeah, yep. Maybe sneaky good with contact. Yeah, I mean they signed some right-handed bats. They signed some guys for depth. I mean, how do these guys play into the Yankees for 2026? I mean, still remains, we don't know. But some of those sneaky moves that they make, Jimmy, some of them end up being really good. Yeah, the Dodgers aren't going to run out of money. No freaking way. Yassine, what's up, man? Long time no see. He's like, what about a trade for Trevor McGill from the Brewers? Trevor McGill for the bullpen? Sign me up. Yeah, I want the Yankees to get another bullpen arm. McGill could be that guy. You could say Mason Miller, but you know he's going to cost a lot. Estrada from the Padres wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't expect the front office nor Boone to put together a top of the order. Trent leading off makes no sense. They did it with Rizzo too. I don't like the idea of Trent Grisham leading off. I don't. I never have. So we got Miggs in the building. What up, Miggs? He says, I would like to package Jones and or Lombard and Dominguez with a big man and his salary and bring back Manny Machado or someone of that. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but Yankees aren't doing. They're not going to do that, and I don't know if the Padres would. Maybe they would. You know, if they're trying to shed salary, perhaps. Ryan Weathers beat the Dodgers when he was with the Padres. He's not afraid of the moment. No, he's not. He's not. I like the Weathers trade. Keeping Dominguez and Jones when they won't play will piss. Trade one. That's Jimmy. I've been saying it. One of those guys needs to get traded. If it was up to me, I'd trade Dominguez. You're speaking to the guy that's been saying it, man, for sure. Your mom's kind of homeless. That's not good. DJ Casanova Music, what up, man? He's like right-handed batters must get quickly. Miguel Andujar is a good option. Miguel Andujar's name has been heavily mentioned. Of course, the Yankees were not one of the teams that was mentioned as far as interest goes. Other teams were mentioned. I don't know if the Yankees would reunite with Miguel Andujar. I don't see it personally. That's another, yeah. Jojo Romero, totally forgot about him. I've talked about him a few times. I like Jojo Romero, but what is the cost going to be? You know, what's the cost going to be for Jojo Romero? I mean, probably wouldn't be too bad. I mean, you know, if there was another bat that I wanted the Yankees to go after, it would be Brandon Donovan. But at this point, I don't see Donovan getting traded. I know his name gets mentioned a lot, but for what the Cardinals are asking for, it sounds like the Cardinals are asking for a lot from for Brandon Donovan. He does come with some control. Pass on that. Tatis, dude, if they ever traded for Fernando Tatis, oh my God. Ooh, that lineup would be insane. Would be absolutely insane. And real quick, just shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the new subs. Make sure you all hit the like button, hit that subscribe. Keep sharing this channel out. I want to see how many likes we got. Let's see how many likes we got. I know we got over 50 people in the building on YouTube, and I know we got a lot of people watching from X. Yeah, if you're watching on X and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that link on the homepage. Sorry, I'm just trying to see how many likes I got. Looks like I got 42 likes. So if we get 8 more likes, I'll gift a membership. Yeah, if we get to 50 likes, if we get 8 more likes, I'll gift a membership. So I mean, listen, the Yankees, they're the same. I mean, it's the same team coming back with a few other with some new additions. So, I my biggest concern right now, um, the offense still is a little bit of a concern, right? Um, to me, for sure. And I wanted to pull this up here real quick. Because there was a lineup that was shared on X, and I wanted to pull up this lineup. It's a Yankees projected lineup, right? So let me pull that up on the screen. Old stadium, there, gaming, old stadium. So this would be the Yankees' potential lineup. Let me see. Hopefully, y'all could see it. Here, let me exit out and zoom in a little bit more. Boom. Yeah, hopefully y'all could see it. And the offense is too left-handed. Agreed. They need more left-handers. Jimmy's saying Yankees are not in on Peraza, only stated Mets, Dodgers, and Braves. So it's fine. I saw something with the Mets. Apparently, the Brewers, if it's true, they asked for Tong, the pitcher from the Mets, and the Mets were not too keen on trading him in a package. So the ask is going to be high. And shout out to Andrew Dang for the $1 super chat. Thank you so much, man, for the $1 super chat. How are you? As an Arizona native, happy Cody is back. I'll bet, man. You like everyone but Caballero? I disagree. I like Caballero, man. I like Caballero. But this would be the potential projected lineup, should I say, for the Yankees, right? So leading off, it would be Trent Grisham, followed by Aaron Judge. Cody Bellinger would be batting third. Ben Rice would be batting cleanup. Then you have Giancarlo Stanton. You have Jazz Chisholm Jr., Ryan McMahon, Jose Caballero, and Austin Wells. So my thoughts on the lineup: 1 through 6 is good. I like 1 through 6. Right? They can stay healthy. I like the 1 through 6, but 7 through 9, is it a concern for me? It is a concern for me. Right? You're hoping McMahon can turn his bat around this season. I mean, obviously, you've all heard me talk about McMahon. I mean, yes, his bat's not the greatest, but his defense at third was a major upgrade. But his bat needs to absolutely improve. He's got potential. He's shown that he's got potential, but there needs to be more consistency. Caballero, if he could get on base, right? I like him better than Volpe. I'll say that much. But when you get him on base, the guy can steal. He led all of Major League Baseball in steals. And Wells, man, Wells could be so much of a better player, man. He could be so much of a better player, but he unfortunately he's another guy that swings and misses a lot, or just doesn't come through when it really matters. There's been times that he does, but again, Wells is very inconsistent. It's very up and down with Austin Wells. But Jimmy's asking, what's your confidence in if they sign another impact player? I don't think they're going to sign another. I don't think it'll be another impact player. Another platoon, probably. I think it might be another platoon player. But honestly, when you say impact player, are you talking about with the bat or pitching? I don't think a signing will. I don't think another signing of an impact player is going to happen. More than likely, if there is going to be an impact player, it's going to probably happen with a trade. Donnie, Jimmy, and Little P. Shout out to your boys. There you go. I think your name was Dennis. Sorry, I can't tell with these new usernames. I wouldn't package Spencer Jones in a deal for Freddie Peralta rental. I wouldn't either, man. I mean, I'd rather I want the Yankees to keep Jones. So, Wells occasionally gets a hot streak, but not consistent enough. That's the problem. That's the problem. Platoon Ryan at third with Rosario for now, unless they trade Ryan. Yeah, I mean, that's why they brought Rosario back. Because Rosario, obviously, if there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound, that McMahon is probably more than likely going to sit. They'll play Rosario at third. And we know what Rosario does against left-handed pitchers. He does damage against them. So, if the Yankees, if they do acquire another bat, it's got to be another right-handed bat. Horner fits the bill. Like I said, I've talked about him. David Rodriguez says, I already said that, but I don't think I don't foresee Ryan McMahon getting traded. I don't see I do not see the Yankees trading him. And even if they were to, I mean, is there a team out there that's going to take on his contract unless the Yankees, eat some of that contract, which once again, I don't see happening. But let me remove this and then let's get back to the screen here. Yeah, I mean, the Yankees, once again, yes, they do need to get a right-handed catcher. I don't know if they're in the market for it. I don't know if they're looking for a right-handed catcher, but it would be good for them to get a right-handed catcher, a catcher that hits from the right-hand side. Get Peralta, fix the bullpen, and let's go. Sign me up, man. That's exactly what they need to do. The bullpen is going to be a big question mark for me, right? Bullpen is going to be a big question mark for me. I don't know what what that bullpen is going to look like. This is going to be a very different looking bullpen, right? So there's a lot of guys there with potential, right? We know, really we have confidence in David Bednar, right? We know what he can do. Tim Hill got brought back. I think Tim Hill, can have another good year, right? Tim Hill's been actually, one of the better bullpen arms for the Yankees. What does Duvall look like? I mean, for me, that's a question mark. I think Duvall has all the potential in the world. The biggest thing with Duvall is just his control. Or else he's got the potential, he's got the stuff, but he's got to work on that control. I would love for the Yankees to trade for Brandon Donovan, but I think that's going to be an expensive trade. I think for what the Cardinals, what the Cardinals are asking for, it's going to be, the price is high. The asking price is high. Yeah, they are. I mean, and rightfully, I mean, it's their right to ask for Peralta. It ain't dark at all, dude. It's plenty light in here. It's still daylight where I am. It's about to be dark, but there you go. Open up the window a little bit of sun, a little bit of light hitting from the outside. It ain't dark in here, man. Trust me, if it was dark, you would know. I'm not either. Nah, no, absolutely not. Definitely not signing Gary Sanchez. I was never a Gary Sanchez fan. That's just me, though. I was never. Nah, I'm not a Gary Sanchez guy. He says embarrassed at sunshine. That's funny. But yeah, I don't know I know what I want the Yankees to do. I know, for me, in my opinion, what I think they should do. Again, they need to get another pitcher for the rotation. That's going to help solidify. I mean, again, Peralta is that guy for me. But if it's not going to be Peralta, then for just 1 year, go ahead, go out, sign Chris Bassett. He's not gonna cost you a lot, and you don't have to give up any draft picks or IFA money, and you don't have to give up anybody that you don't want to give up that you'd rather keep. For the in the Yankees case. Also, to get a bullpen arm. I know I've already said it a million times, but they need another bullpen arm. It could be McGill, it could be Jojo Romero, it could be Estrada from the Padres. I mean, any of those guys would work. And another right-handed bat. My vote is Nico Hoerner, right? I would love for them to go after Nico Hoerner. Is it going to happen? Probably not. I mean, I would think Nico Hoerner would get traded just because, they got Matt Shaw. They just signed, Alex Bregman. But, maybe they do keep Nico Hoerner. I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they did. With Jason, 161, me and him have gone live together quite a few times, man. Jason and I, we talk quite a bit. We talk quite a bit offline, too. Sir Anthony Dominguez wouldn't be a bad one. The Mariners also, they also got some guys that I wouldn't mind the Yankees going after, but as far as their pitchers go, but I don't think the Mariners want to trade away any of their pitchers. Maybe Luis Castillo, but I'm not on that Luis Castillo train. The one guy that I would love for them to get is Brian Wu would be great, or like a George Kirby. Edward Brizardo is another guy that I would love for the Yankees to go after, but again, the asking price for those guys would be insane, and I don't think the Mariners are going to give up any of those guys, right? So Mariners got some good pitching. I would again, some of those guys that I just named off, that it would be awesome if the Yankees were to get one of them. DJ LeMahieu. Unfortunately, man, I know you're just being sarcastic, but yeah, DJ is a sad story, man. DJ was great. DJ LeMahieu was great, but unfortunately, age catches up. Injuries start to happen. It's just inevitable. But yeah, he was good. He was good. So yeah, Reds, they got some starters there too, but I think the Reds are trying to compete. I mean, Reds actually had a pretty decent season a year ago. And I think they could repeat that. I think they could repeat that in 2026. Railbird, good to see you. Back in town, things getting expensive. What's getting expensive? What kind of things? Nick Martinez, I wouldn't mind. Like Nick Martinez or Chris Bassett. I mean, I know I said I would want Chris Bassett, but I'd rather them go after Nick Martinez. Martinez ain't bad for a year, I would say. I wouldn't mind either one of those guys. Let's see how many likes we got. We got 46 likes. 4 more likes to 50. If we get, like I said, if we get to 50 likes, man, I'll give the membership. Just as a way of saying thank you. But while I'm live, of course, if we get 50 likes while I'm live. But David Rodriguez says keep Spencer. When Trent leaves, he takes over center field next year. And that could be the plan, because center field is going to be empty, right? Once Trent's gone, right? Once he becomes a free agent, we'll see what the future holds for him. I doubt the Yankees bring him back, but you put Spencer, you could easily plug in Spencer Jones over there in center field. Could put Bellinger there too, but you could keep Bellinger in left. Could also play right. Bellinger could play anywhere in the outfield. So, but I'd rather the Yankees keep Spencer Jones. But if they traded him, it's got to be in the right package, right? Any player that the Yankees traded, it's got to make sense, and the return has to be great for the Yankees, right? It's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt, but if it's going to help the Yankees win right now, like that's the main thing. That's the most important thing. Because the Yankees are, they're supposed to be a win now organization, right? That's what they tell us, at least. It's not a team that is going to reset or anything. They're just going to try and make improvements where they can. But again, I'm happy that they brought Bellinger back. Once again, I know it was a bit of an overpay, but you look at some of the other contracts. It's not so bad. David Rodriguez says deadline trade Trent. Who's going to trade for him? And what do you get back for Trent Grisham? Because you're not going to get any big names back for him. At least I don't think so. I can't. I think I don't think the Yankees are going to trade him though. I think the Yankees they're definitely going to keep him. I believe that. I think they're just going to let him play out his 1 year, and then let him go explore free agency. And like I said, Grisham wasn't bad for the Yankees last year. He had a good year. And his glove in center field plays really well. He's a Gold Glover. His defense is great. Can't complain about that. So, but I don't see Trent Grisham going nowhere. And we are just one like away from 50. So if there's somebody that hasn't hit that like button, let's hit that 50 likes. That way I can gift the membership. Just trying to see if there's anything on X or Twitter. I know a lot of folks are been buzzing about this whole Cody Bellinger thing. Some like it, some don't. Well, SNY looks like they put something out, like an article of some sort, saying the Yankees are in position to make a starting rotation splash after bringing back Cody Bellinger. I agree with that. But what's it going to take? What are they willing to give up? There's still a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to the New York Yankees, right? What this team is going to look like, at the start of 2026. Are they going to make any other additions? They have to make other additions. It can't just be Bellinger. We have 50 likes. Let's go. Thank you, Cecilia. So we got 50 likes. Yeah, let me go ahead and, as promised, I will gift that membership right now. Let me do that real quick. Hey, our friend Desiree says I was like number 50. What's up, Desiree? What's going on? How are you? How's our friend? How's our friend Rodney doing? Is he doing good? Everything okay with him? Shout out to my guy Rodney. Miss you, man. If you're watching it later. Let's see. So let's see who the recipient is, and it is Hyde Kwan. Hopefully I said that right. You are the recipient of the Strike Zone membership. So congratulations. So the Strike Zone membership, it's good for if you get a gifted membership, it's good for 30 days. If you want to continue being a member, I do have a link in the description for anybody who wants to be a member, to continue being a member. No pressure, of course. $3 a month ain't so bad to start off, right? There's different tiers, but the $3 one is the inexpensive one. What up, Davey? Says contract for Bellinger if he produces on average level. It's okay. I mean, look, if he can repeat 2025 or do better, sign me up. And nice thing with Bellinger's contract, I mean, although I don't see it happening, at least he's got opt-outs after years 2 and 3. So I mean, if he decides he wants to opt out and go test the market, by all means. So it's an incentive for him to go out to have some good years, hopefully. Predict the Yankees make 2 more minor moves, 1 right-handed bat and right-handed reliever. It's not a bad prediction. I could very well see that happening. Ronnie's doing good. Liz from Fantasy Football staying with him at the hospital tonight. Should be home tomorrow. Still very out of it. Good. Okay, that's the most important, is that surgery went well and he's feeling good. I'm glad our friend is doing well. Hopefully he's gonna now be on the road to recovery. D Skrilla says, shout out to Pixelmon, John the Beagle Dad, and Rusty. What up, man? Shout out to you. Yeah, I understand, Davey. I mean, the thing is, though, I mean, you look at the free agent class from this offseason, really wasn't a lot of options. I mean, ultimately we knew the Yankees wanted to bring Bellinger back. I mean, we knew that. Sure, I don't think Kyle Tucker was ever in the picture. I know a lot of fans wanted Kyle Tucker, but not for the money that he got. Getting $60 million a season, his numbers don't show that. But hey, he got paid. Mom Man Celso, what up, dude? What's up, bro? How's life? How you feeling? With the deal, it doesn't make us better. Well, you know what? Last offseason, going into 2025, nobody liked the Yankees going into 2025. Just remember this. They were supposed to be a third or a fourth place team. They were only supposed to win like 78 games or 85 games. They weren't supposed to make it to the postseason. I mean, we heard a lot of that noise. Last year too. But let's just let the season play out. Me neither. I'm not giving them 60 per season. Hope they get a chance like Volpe. They should get a chance. I think you're referring to Who are you referring to? Dominguez and Jones? They should get a chance. No doubt. But yeah. But I'm probably gonna end it here. Probably in the next minute or two. Been live for almost over an hour. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for the support. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Trying to get to that 3,000 subscriber mark for 2026. Hopefully we can get there. Can't wait for the regular season to start, man. Can't wait for the regular season to start again, because I'm looking forward to the regular season. Get to do more play-by-plays and get to go live more often. I mean, spring training is just a few weeks away. But again, I'm happy the Yankees brought back Bellinger once again. Yes, it was a bit of an overpay, but when you compare it to what some of these other players got, it's not that bad. When you compare it. Cecilia says, "Hope springs eternal. We paid $60 million to Tucker to complete our sick lineup for the next few years." Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to help the lineup. That ain't happening, dude. Come on. Let's be real here. That's not going to happen. That's definitely not going to happen. But anyway, folks, I'm gonna close it out here. Once again, thank you all for hanging out with me on this Wednesday evening. You guys and gals are the best. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Make sure you all hit the like button. All right, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new and you're watching this. If you're watching this on the rerun, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. All right. Keep sharing this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy, and I will see you all next time. And as always, let's go Yankees.